We've worked closely together over the past several months in the lead up to the summits that President Biden took part in, then at the summits themselves, to take on some of the most urgent challenges of our time and to help ensure that these institutions are as effective, adaptive, and innovative as possible. But that work doesn't end with the summits. In a sense, it starts there. It continues this week and beyond as we follow up on the steps that leaders took at NATO with the 2030 reform agenda and making sure the alliance has the capability it needs. At the G7, where we committed to supply 1 billion COVID-19 vaccines to the world, end support for coal-fired power plants, partner with developing countries on infrastructure projects through Build Back Better, and at the US-EU summit, where we pledged greater cooperation, deeper cooperation on trade and technology in particular. We're also working closely together to address regional challenges. We'll see that this afternoon when we gather with leaders from Africa, the Middle East, Asia, Europe, as well as the United Nations at the Berlin II conference on Libya. And I want to thank Germany for its very important leadership on this issue. As I'll share at the meeting, and as you heard from Heiko, we share the goal of a sovereign, stable, unified, secure Libya, free from foreign interference. It's what the people of Libya deserve. It's critical to regional security as well. For that to happen, national elections need to go forward in December, and that means urgent agreement is needed on constitutional and legal issues that would undergird those elections. And the October 23rd ceasefire agreement has to be fully implemented, including by withdrawing all foreign forces from Libya. We're grateful again to Germany for hosting this meeting and for the long-standing leadership that it's shown on this topic and so many others. We're very proud to be your partner, Heiko, in this endeavor. And that brings me to a final point that I want to make today. In addition to the work that we do together through regional and global conferences and institutions, we're deeply committed to the bilateral relationship between Germany and the United States. Simply put, Germany is among our closest friends and closest partners in the entire world. It's true, of course, on a governmental level, and I know President Biden is very much looking forward to welcoming Chancellor Merkel to Washington next month. It's true on an economic level, as we see and know every single day. Germany is our largest trading partner in Europe. We're your largest export market, and hundreds of thousands of Germans work for American companies, and vice versa. It's true on a person-to-person level. The people of Germany, the people of the United States are connected in so many ways. Family ties that stretch back for generations, young people studying in each other's universities, and like Heiko, I'm looking forward tomorrow to meeting with some of the alumni of our transatlantic youth exchange programs and talking to another generation of young Germans and Americans. Our troops have stood shoulder to shoulder around the world. We're grateful to Germany for hosting U.S. troops, which serves our joint security. And we're connected, finally, by a shared commitment to democratic values, values that we'll honor tomorrow when, as the foreign minister said, we will visit the memorial to the murdered Jews of Europe together to reaffirm our commitment to human rights and dignity, to discuss how we can ensure that the lessons of the Holocaust are never forgotten. I'm reminded of something President Biden said recently at the 100th anniversary of the Tulsa race massacre in the United States. He talked about how great nations face the lessons of their history, no matter how painful they are. And they do all that they can to repair whatever injustice can be repaired and build a better, fairer future. Germany is a model to the world for how to do that. So we're grateful for the friendship. We want it to be even stronger. We don't always agree. The foreign minister and I spoke today about one of those areas of disagreement, the Nord Stream 2 gas pipeline, which we continue to believe is a threat to Europe's energy security. Germany has a different perspective, and that happens from time to time among friends. And we'll handle our disagreements while pressing ahead on the many areas where we are working very closely together and are very much in agreement. In this case, that means that Germany and the United States will keep standing together against any dangerous or provocative actions by Russia, whether that's encroaching on Ukraine's territory or imprisoning Alexei Navalny or spreading disinformation in our democracies. That's what effective cooperation between countries looks like. That's what Germany and the United States are delivering together. So thank you again, Mr. Foreign Minister Heiko, for this partnership, for this very good work that we're doing together. And my thanks to everyone here for the very warm reception we've already had. Thank you.
Unfortunately, we have very limited time left due to following schedules. But the first question goes to Reuters. Please, a short question would be much appreciated.
Andreas Rinke vom Reuters. Eine Frage an den Außenminister, was Libyen angeht. Was genau erhoffen Sie sich von den USA, was Libyen und die Sahelzone angeht? Was sollten die Amerikaner liefern? And Foreign Secretary, question to you on the same question. What is the US willing to do? Boots on the ground in anti-terror fight in the Sahel region or what else?
Also heute geht es vor allen Dingen um Libyen. Ich bin Tony Blinken außerordentlich dankbar, dass die Vereinigten Staaten in diesem Dossier sehr aktiv sind, aktiver als wir das aus der Vergangenheit kennen. Für uns geht es heute vor allen Dingen darum, noch einmal zu bekräftigen, dass am 24. Dezember die Wahlen in Libyen stattfinden werden, dass der Abzug aller ausländischen Kräfte noch einmal bekräftigt wird und dann danach Stück für Stück, Step by Step auch beginnen wird und innerhalb Libyens die Kräfte, die Sicherheitskräfte, die es dort gibt, zusammengeführt werden. Und dafür ist es außerordentlich wichtig, dass die internationale Staatengemeinschaft und all diejenigen, die auch in der Vergangenheit in diesem Konflikt eine Rolle gespielt haben, ihren Teil dazu beitragen. Und deshalb bin ich Tony Blinken und der Administration in Washington sehr, sehr dankbar, heute hier zu sein, aber auch diesen Prozess sehr, sehr aktiv mitzugestalten.
And I really wouldn't and couldn't say anything differently. We have exactly the same objectives, both for this meeting and for moving forward in terms of the steps that need to be taken to make sure that elections go forward in December. That the ceasefire continues to be fully implemented, and that all foreign forces leave Libya. I think we have an opportunity that we have not had in recent years to really help Libya move forward as a safe, secure, sovereign country, and we're determined together to seize that opportunity. I think, again, Germany's leadership in a very sustained way in bringing the international community together in support of Libya, in support of its progress, is vitally, vitally important, and I hope that we'll continue to move in the right direction today and the days that follow.
Our first question goes to the VOA. Cindy Sain.
Yes, sir, good morning. Secretary Blinken mentioned the Nord Stream 2 pipeline, and for Foreign Minister Maas, what is Germany prepared to do to reassure the United States and Ukraine that Russia will not use the pipeline to pressure Ukraine or to harm them? And for Secretary Blinken, in your discussions with the Foreign Minister, what measures are you considering implementing that could automatically trigger if Russia does pressure? And for both of you, are you worried about threatening statements that Russian President Putin has made that he would exclude Ukraine from energy? Thank you.
In dem Gespräch, das wir geführt haben, hat mir Tony sehr bestimmt noch einmal deutlich gemacht, dass es mit Blick auf Nord Stream 2 in Washington die Erwartung gibt, dass wir unseren Teil dazu beitragen, dass diese Pipeline von Putin nicht missbraucht werden kann, um politischen Druck auf die Ukraine auszuüben. Wir sind uns dessen bewusst und wir wollen unseren Beitrag dazu auch leisten. Wir haben das in der Vergangenheit auch schon getan und auch begonnen, indem wir mit dafür gesorgt haben, dass es einen alternativen Gastransitvertrag über die Ukraine weiterhin geben wird, auch wenn Nord Stream 2 betrieben würde. Und wir befinden uns jetzt in Gesprächen, wie diese Erwartungen, die es in Washington gibt, auch erfüllt werden können.
And thank you. And we appreciate the important conversations that we're having with Germany on this issue right now. As I said earlier, this is one place where we We disagree. We continue to believe that the pipeline is ultimately a Russian geopolitical project that threatens European energy security and potentially undermines the security of Ukraine and other countries in the region. We recently imposed sanctions, more sanctions than had ever been imposed under the law against a number of Russian entities involved in the pipeline. And at the same time, we waived certain sanctions with regard to Nord Stream 2 AG and its CEO. And the context is this. By the time we took office, the pipeline as a matter of its physical construction was more than 90% complete. That was the reality. That's something we inherited. And we're determined to see if we can make something positive out of a difficult situation that we inherited, and to do what we can to make sure that the end result is that Europe's energy security is not undermined. In fact, it's strengthened, that Ukraine's position is not weakened, that it's actually reinforced. And that is the nature of the conversations that we're having with our German partners. Our goal remains to ensure that Russia cannot use energy as a coercive tool, as a weapon against Ukraine or anyone else in Europe. And I appreciate the work that we're doing with Germany to move in that direction.
Next question from Süddeutsche Zeitung, Herr Brössler.
Mr. Maas, ich würde gerne noch mal bei Nord Stream 2 nachhaken. Gibt es für die Gespräche, die Sie erwähnt haben, einen Zeitrahmen? Ist es Ihr Wunsch oder beider Seiten Wunsch, dieses Problem zu lösen bis zum Besuch von Bundeskanzlerin Merkel in Washington? Und nochmal konkreter nachgefragt, die Ukraine hat ja Garantien von Deutschland erbeten. Wäre Deutschland bereit, zum Beispiel den möglichen Ausfall von Transitgebühren zu kompensieren? And Secretary Blinken, from what you said, can we understand that you have given up on the goal to not have Nord Stream 2 completed or at least go operational? And in case it is completed, is it your wish to have tools to stop gas transit via Nord Stream 2 if need be? Thank you.
Also wahrscheinlich könnten wir die ganze Welt retten und es würde manchmal trotzdem immer nur um Nord Stream 2 gehen, aber das ist auch zu akzeptieren. Wir führen diese Gespräche, wir kennen die Erwartungen in Washington. Es ist uns außerordentlich wichtig, zu Ergebnissen zu kommen, die auch in Washington mitgetragen werden können. Diese Gespräche führen wir mit den Kolleginnen und Kollegen aus der Administration in Washington, aber auch mit der Ukraine. Der ukrainische Außenminister ist in der vorletzten Woche hier zu Besuch gewesen. Natürlich haben wir auch darüber gesprochen. Wir führen diese Gespräche auch mit Blick auf Osteuropa, die Energiesituation insgesamt. Es gibt eine Vielzahl von Möglichkeiten und Ansätze, die wir auch bereits diskutieren, aber die wir auch nicht öffentlich diskutieren. Und natürlich würde ich mir wünschen, dass wir sehr zügig auch zu einem Ergebnis kommen. Der Besuch der Kanzlerin in Washington wäre eine geeignete Timeline, aber alleine davon können wir das natürlich nicht abhängig machen. Aber wir wissen, dass aufgrund der Gesetzeslage in Washington im August sowieso die nächsten Entscheidungen anstehen. Und deshalb ist unser Anspruch bis dahin auch in diesen Gesprächen, die wir führen, zu akzeptablen Ergebnissen für alle Seiten zu kommen.
I share the views that the foreign minister just expressed. I'm not going to address what might happen hypothetically in the future. I think what's important and what we agree on is that in the conversations that we're having, in the talks that we're having, together we need to produce very credible, concrete results to, again, ensure that Russia cannot use energy as a coercive tool directed at Ukraine or anyone else.
Go to Himera Pemuk of Reuters.
Hello, thank you. I would like to ask about Iran first. Foreign Minister Maas, you just said there are some nuts to be cracked still, and Jake Sullivan also over the weekend said there are still issues. What is your sense on how close the two sides are on a deal, and until when are you willing to keep negotiating? And then if I can move on to China quickly. The United States says America is back, and you two talked a lot about multilateralism, and Europe appears to be genuinely pleased to see that America is back, but you have deep disagreements on a number of important topics, and China is one. Foreign Minister Maas, isn't that weighing on the bilateral relationship? And Secretary Blinken, you said China's treatment of Uyghurs in Xinjiang amount to genocide. Are you urging the German government to call on German companies to perhaps cease operations in Xinjiang? Thank you.
Also zu China, natürlich ist das ein Thema, über das wir sprechen, über das wir immer sprechen. China ist auch für uns wichtig, sowohl für die deutsche Bundesregierung, aber auch die Europäische Union. Es ist ganz wichtig, dass wir in der Europäischen Union eine gemeinsame China-Strategie haben. Wir haben, wie ich finde, in den letzten Wochen schon gemeinsam sehr deutlich gemacht, dass wir durchaus gemeinsam agieren können. Die Europäische Union hat wegen der Menschenrechtsverletzungen in Xinjiang gegenüber den Uiguren Sanktionen gegen China erlassen, das zum ersten Mal seit 30 Jahren. Wir haben in Abstimmung mit den USA, Großbritannien und Kanada Sanktionen gerade auf den Weg gebracht gegen Belarus. Und ich bin fest davon überzeugt, dass das wichtig ist, wenn es geht um Werte. Wir sind Wertepartner und deshalb wollen wir mit den Vereinigten Staaten so eng zusammenarbeiten, neben unserer historischen Freundschaft und dem, was wir den Vereinigten Staaten insbesondere mit Blick auf und nach dem Zweiten Weltkrieg zu verdanken haben. Wir sind einfach effektiver, wenn wir gemeinsam arbeiten, auch mit Blick auf China. Und deshalb haben wir ein großes Interesse daran, was unsere China-Strategien angeht, diese transatlantisch sehr eng abzustimmen, sowohl zwischen Deutschland und den USA, aber auch zwischen der Europäischen Union und den USA. Und was die Verhandlungen in Wien angeht, die sind nicht einfach. Das hat sich in den vergangenen Wochen deutlich gemacht. Es gibt viele technische Fragen, die zu klären sind. Trotzdem geht es bei jeder Verhandlungsrunde immer Stück für Stück vorwärts. Und wir gehen davon aus, dass auch in dem neuen Umfeld nach den Präsidentschaftswahlen im Iran es gute Möglichkeiten gibt, diese in absehbarer Zeit abzuschließen. Wir sind auf jeden Fall davon überzeugt, dass es sich lohnt, über einen so langen Zeitraum zu sprechen und das JCPOA auf diese Art und Weise wieder zu beleben.
And coming back to China, I think what you're seeing, what you saw particularly in the last week, is a growing convergence of views in terms of how to deal with China. We recognize that all of our countries have complex and consequential relationships with China that can't be summed up in a bumper sticker. And whether it's the United States, whether it's Europe, we're seeing, as we've said before, adversarial aspects of the relationship, competitive ones, and also cooperative ones. But the common denominator is we're all going to be more effective in engaging China in any of those areas when we're working and acting together. And increasingly we're demonstrating that we can do that. I think that was evident in the work that was done at the G7, at NATO, at the US-EU summit. I remind you that with regard to the G7, the last time previous to this G7 meeting that there was a meeting, China didn't even factor into the equation, into the communique. And at NATO, we've agreed to renew and revitalize our strategic concept. The last time that was done in 2010, again, China was not even mentioned. But I think what's very important here to recognize, and this is what brings us together, is we are not about containing China or holding China back. What we are about is upholding the free and open, rules-based international order that we have spent so many decades building, investing in, working on together. And if that order is challenged in any way by anyone, we will stand up and defend it. And that's not directed at China. It's about defending the order. But more, as important, I think what you saw from the United States and Europe across so many different areas was an affirmative vision for what the future can and should be. For example, the work that we did together at the G7 with Build Back Better for the World, where we will come together as countries, pooling some of our development resources to help other countries develop their infrastructure and to do it to the highest standards in the most positive way. The work that we're doing together on vaccines, 1 billion vaccines for the world with no political strings attached. All of this shows that we can come together and deliver effectively. Last word, when it comes to Xinjiang, when it comes to genocide, human rights abuses, I think what's incumbent upon all of us to do whatever we can to make sure that products that may be the result of forced labor are not coming into our countries, and similarly that we're not exporting to any country, China or otherwise, technologies or products that can be used to repress people and deny them their human rights. We've done work on that. That was clear last week as well on forced labor. And as the foreign minister said, we've come together to sanction China for the actions that it's taken against Uyghurs and others in Xinjiang.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Thank you.